Welcome back to the Convince Me podcast, where we're on a mission to convince you to step out of your entertainment comfort zone and try something new. So with that said, let's get to convincing. Darren, it has been eons. If you're counting internet time, oh my gosh, dude, we're back in the primordial ooze with how long it's been since we recorded in internet time.
I mean, yeah, I can't even imagine anybody who was around is still around waiting for this episode to come out. But
Of course,
hey,
bated breath.
if
Bated breath.
of course.
um, Last time we met for anime, I convinced Darren to try A Wild Last Boss Appeared, and Darren tried to convince me of Tsukimichi. Um, a lot's been happening in the past while. The episode that was supposed to come out was the video game episode.
Mm-hmm.
Darren, can
Hmm.
you explain to the audience why we haven't gotten around to doing the video game episode yet?
Okay, so the plan was it was a really, really, really good plan. The plan was to do an episode about Crimson Desert, and so we've been playing it. Um, And then all of a sudden, we realized that I had personally put in 100 hours before chapter 5, and Ryan I mean, he just hit 100 hours now. He's in chapter 8 or 9. I'm pushing 200 hours, and we still don't necessarily feel like we've played enough of the game to talk about the game, which is wild considering how much. I mean, we've put in almost a combined 300 hours into this game, and yet it keeps evolving, it keeps changing.
The
Pearl Abyss has
patches.
done so many phenomenal things to make it so that we can't talk about it because they keep fixing everything that we would potentially talk about. So I mean, how do you talk about things that are not a thing anymore? I mean, by the time at this point we would have released, if we had released the episode the 2 or 3 different times that we had planned on recording it, I think every single gripe that we would have had, save maybe 2 or 3, have been fully addressed in
And
earnest.
improved upon. I mean,
So I mean,
just today,
look,
yesterday,
and
today,
at this point we've probably missed the hype on it. So I don't know. I
just
don't know.
today, they released the patch where you get to start growing a wyvern pet that eventually will become a mount. The game defies logic,
No,
but yeah,
it doesn't become a mount, does it?
yeah.
Does it?
Part of the
I didn't see
patches
that. I saw that you
says,
could
yeah,
make it so that
it's a
like
pet.
the wyverns that you fight.
No, the pet. In a later update, if you get it to a certain point, will eventually become a mount in a future update. So you are genuinely turning this wyvern into a pet, into a mount. I know, but this is not. See, now you understand why we wanted to really get a grasp on Crimson Desert. But in the
And at this
meantime,
point, I don't know if we'll ever grasp it. It's like trying to hold on to grains of sand. I don't.
in the desert. But we
Which is
will
crimson.
eventually get there. I did want to talk about my anime because it's, oh man, I'm so curious to see how Darren is going to feel about this. But before we talk about it, Darren, you and I have had many discussions about the current season of anime.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, Darren and I do not watch every single thing that comes out across the entire season because that's so
Mm-mm.
much, and I would not be interested in everything. So we can only speak
Mm-mm.
to the things that catch our attention and that we watch. And the
Mm-hmm.
things that we are watching are all so genuinely good that, for me personally, I've said in episodes before, I'm all things considered a newbie when it comes to like fringe anime, right? I've watched the Dragon Ball
Sure.
Z's, the Bleach is like the big three. Not even the big three. But like, I've
It's true.
watched anime. I know. I've watched anime most of my life. But like, just a couple years ago, I started watching anime. Um, and this season has been combined wise, I think personally the best that I've seen in the time since I started watching.
Ooh. Um I mean that's not a hot take. I have to give my nod to the season where we like that we just had not too long ago, where we had Clevites and Water Magician and I,
When I look at those, all good. But when I look at the season
well, they're
of
better
Witch
than good.
Hat, when I look at
Better
this
than good.
season of One Piece, which is starting to we're starting to find out some stuff. And when you get into Petals of Reincarnation, when you get into, I'm watching Marriage Toxin, Darren's not. Every single show that I'm watching, I am so excited to see more of. Not even talking about Wistoria, which, oh my goodness.
See, that's a hard one because obviously you got to remember at that time that was also like the Kuma flashback, so we were getting that stuff then too.
For which
So I
season was
mean,
that? Was that the Clever Test season? Was that the Kuma
mm-hmm,
flashback? Oh.
mm-hmm. So like we were getting a lot of like climactic egghead stuff during that time too. So One Piece is a hard thing to throw in there.
But I'm
Um,
not saying like other seasons have had like really high highs and everything,
yeah,
but in my head I'm like, if you combined wise as a culmination of all
mm-hmm,
of the stuff that I'm watching currently, com- the average of everything,
yeah.
goodness gracious, dude.
It is hard to knock the combination just from a pure animation perspective of Clevitas, or excuse me, Witch Hat Atelier and Wistoria.
Dude, those two
Wistoria
alone.
is going absolutely nuts.
It's so good. If you have not watched Wistoria, go watch it. The first season's like 12 episodes, 13 maybe. Go binge it.
And what
It's worth it.
now we're 4 or 5 episodes into the new season,
Yeah,
something like that.
it's so good. It's so good. It's such a good season. Um,
Yeah,
maybe people say like basic take or whatever. I don't care. I am
no,
loving every single show. Darren hasn't started watching Marriage Toxin. I'm actually in the process of convincing him to try it. Um,
and
because
to be fair, I'm not opposed, but that's also like me trying to convince Ryan to watch One Piece for 20 years.
and I did it.
So
I did it.
eventually, so give me 20 years,
Not
and I'll
20
probably.
years. You
You're
were
right.
not
It was
15
2009.
watching One
So
Piece.
you're right. It
Or
was
13,
2009. So it's only 2026. So I'm sorry, 17
17.
years.
Not 20.
It's basically 20. Round that up. Over 5. Round it up. Let's
Round down.
go.
Round down to the nearest 5. So, the reason I was torn about. Not torn. Torn's not the word. Curious to see how you respond. My
Mm-hmm.
anime that I watched was Takt.Op Destiny. This show was animated by Mappa. That is your indication of the level of animation that you're getting in this show. And
Mm-hmm.
this show is all gas, no brake. All gas. So, the show opens with some kids playing, and during their playing, they stumble upon a cordoned off piano. It's like a grand piano that's like surrounded by rope. And these kids start wondering about music. And they're basically like, "Hey, wait, that plays music? What is music?" And you're going, "What the heck do they mean? What's music?" And you are clued in to the fact that music is banned. Not allowed. So there's a generation of kids that don't even know what music is. Like, not that they've never heard it, they just don't even know what it is. And so these kids are curious, and so they go over there, and this mysterious dude comes over, sits at the piano, and starts playing. And you learn that they spared no expense when it came to the animation of playing the piano. You see every key pressed, you see flourishes, you see everything. It's crazy. And then as he's playing the piano, you hear this roar. And you're like, oh snap. And it cuts to this girl standing on top of a building. And one of the coolest sequences ever happens. And I don't want to say what it is, because I want you to experience it in the way that I did. Just suffice it to say what happens in that moment. Keep in mind, this is the first 7 or 8 minutes of the episode. My jaw hit the floor immediately, because it was one of the coolest sequences of things I've seen happen in a very long time. And it immediately strikes you and makes you go, I want to know what the heck is happening here. Eventually, you find out that, I guess not eventually, it starts with it. There was a meteorite that fell to Earth years ago. And that meteorite that fell to Earth gave people powers. Later, a second meteor fell to Earth. And that second meteor unleashed dark energy that released monsters called D2s. And I don't know if this was on purpose. It might have been. But D2s, the monsters, almost sounds like D-Tune. And when I think of an anime that's based, that has such a focus on music, and then the villain or the monster things are called D2s, I'm like, maybe. So, yeah, the premise of the show that you find out is that the guy who's playing the piano and the girl the guy is basically a maestro. And maestros have control of these things called music arts, or music arts. And music arts are essentially compositions taken form. And the maestro controls the music art to fight. And the premise of the show is him, the character that you see, and the girl getting to a location because there's something wrong with her. And the 12 episodes is their journey to getting her to where she needs to go. And I think, barring one, maybe 2 episodes, there is crazy, over-the-top, incredible animation every episode. Like I said, barring 1, maybe 2 episodes. Like a decent length action sequence that looks so good. Obviously, in an anime about music, the music is really good. It is all classical. It's a classical music-focused anime. And it stood out to me because I'd seen snippets on Reels or whatever, and the animation struck me. But then as you watch, you learn that there is a story of grieving, loss, depression, and it touches on some topics that a lot of anime do, but it touches on them in a what I felt was a good way. I'm trying not to say too much. The plot is not going to win any awards because it is very simple, but how they get there makes you you care about the characters that are going on this journey. There is a third character with them that you learn more about the relationship between these three characters, and it's very wholesome, very sweet, and very sad. And if you watch, you'll see why. Um, I don't know that I can say that there's a lot of what feels like unnecessary. Like, I think every anime should have slow moments, because if every single thing is fast paced and action, it gets boring and I kind of tune it out. And the slow moments in this anime are build towards something I think worthwhile. And I mean, yeah, I blazed through this one pretty fast, because I wanted to keep going. And now, to get into the thing that I was curious about how you'd feel. The anime does have an ending, but it is one of those endings where you could see them making more, but in my opinion, they don't have to. Because everything wasn't wrapped up with a perfect bow, but there was enough of a conclusion for me to be like, okay, I get it. And there's a reason for that. I didn't learn until I was almost done with the show that this anime was basically a big giant promotion for a gacha game. Which is why, as I'm sure you're aware, the animation was so good. And the action was so good. And now I want you to reflect on the premise that I told you of the maestro, the music heart, and I want you to think back on that and go, could you see that in a gacha game? Do you see where they could go with that? Now, the ending of this anime is supposed to basically like lead into the gacha game. But I personally felt through watching the show, I got the closure I wanted. Like, again, the reason it felt like they could keep going is because they can in the game, which I found out is just discontinued now. But there was enough of a self-contained story for me to be like, I'm good. I understand. I don't need more, because what I imagine could happen next is enough for me. I don't need a perfect bow. I'm satisfied. I found out, because I looked it up. Um, this is interesting. The game called Takt.Op Symphony was a gacha that shut down April 9th of 24. And it released June 28th, 23. So it made it about 9 months. Not super good for a gacha, but I don't think that the gacha game has any effect on the anime. I just thought it was interesting that this was one big giant promotion for the game. I'm assuming you've seen something.
I think so.
Did you play
But
this?
no,
Oh,
certainly not. But the studio, I'm more curious about the studio that made it.
uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Who is it?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. So, um it's a studio that I want to say it might be a subsidiary of Bamco. I'm not sure.
Interesting. Okay.
Um but it's called DNA. So that's capital D lowercase E N
Okay.
A.
Okay.
Um, I have definitely played a multitude of games by them.
Mm-hmm.
They are currently responsible for such games as Pokemon TCG Pocket,
Oh, okay.
currently,
Okay.
Pokemon Masters, which is a gacha where you summon trainers that have a Pokemon
Mm-hmm.
for all intents and purposes.
Sure.
They have a hand in Fire Emblem Heroes, which is the Fire Emblem gacha.
Oh.
Uh huh. Apparently, they worked on some of the infrastructure of Super Mario Run, and God knows I remember when that mattered.
You,
One
I'm
Piece setting sail, Final Fantasy Record Keeper, which was one of the best Final Fantasy gachas that ever was, that people are still angry about having been canceled.
so I'm
So I
I'm
mean, they've
curious.
had their hands in quite a few things. This apparently was a colossal failure.
I don't even remember hearing about it.
And what's funny is this Takt.Op game isn't even listed on their wiki page.
Well, it probably is under Bamco Arts specifically. Maybe they'd help by. I don't know, but I would say that the anime was standalone enough for me for that to not have mattered. The
Mm-hmm.
animation, the music, the pacing, I liked the show overall and didn't feel like I was missing anything by not playing the game. Again, I could talk way more about it, but I think it's best to just go in not knowing what to expect. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend. Beautifully done, and I enjoyed the 12 episodes that I watched.
I mean, it sounds interesting, I guess. Um, so I say that just because like anime based on gachas can go so many ways,
Sure. I know
and
Arknights has one. I don't know many others.
Arknights did. Genshin is getting one, I believe, this
That's
year.
true. That's true.
Um, there was, gosh, I know more than this. Literally just had one in mind. Oh, I mean Uma Musume, of course.
Wait, but didn't that get a game because of the anime? Was it wasn't an anime for the game, was it?
You tell me.
I don't actually know. I feel like the anime like became
Games
a
don't
big
just
thing.
get Gotcha games don't just spring out of the woodwork for no reason.
Hey man, look, if being part of a gotcha game means you get that level of animation, okay. If it's a standalone story, I don't care. If it's a good story with good pacing and you care about the characters, gotcha away.
Yeah. Yeah. So nope, that was a Gotcha to TV adaptation. Uma Musume.
Wow.
Fate Grand Order, Rage of Bahamut, Arc Knights, of course. Grand Blue.
That I did. Yeah, how did I forget about that? Jeez. Um,
Yeah, me too. I don't know. And funny because the one anime I'd love to see from a Gotcha game obviously no longer exists anymore, but that would have been a great anime. But I digress.
so,
So I mean, yeah, it really could go either way. A musical combat anime is very interesting. It's very, oh god, what was that game? Eternal Sonata.
mm, yeah,
For those unaware of Eternal Sonata was an Xbox 360
and PS3.
game and PS3. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. The
that was
PS3 version
basically
was like a special version of it or something.
oh that sounds right.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like a action RPG is generous to
It
say,
was it
but
was a
um, it
Tales like. like a
Yeah, I
Tales-like
guess
combat
for the
game.
time. That followed effectively and gave you some background on the composer Chopin, which was truly, I mean, it was great. It was magnificent, um, for the time.
Sure.
So I mean, so it sounds very akin to that, which of course I'm not opposed to. I don't know. I don't know. It depends on how much of the gotcha elements you can smell in it.
Other than the
Mappa
Maestro to
obviously
music
is
heart,
great.
like you meet maestros that have music hearts. That's
Yeah.
the extent of any gotcha that you'll find.
God, how long until we have a reverse 1999 anime?
Oh, that was a beautiful game, but just it's a gotcha, and I
Probably
fell
still
off.
is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean, it's a hard maybe.
Hey, man, I'll take maybe. It's not a no.
Yeah.
Now, tell
No.
me about Nabisco or
Yeah, that's what it is.
I keep
Nabisco.
saying
I watched a
Sabui
box of
Nabisco.
cookies.
Sabui Nabisco.
Sabikui Bisco. Okay, so I will start this off by saying that finishing this anime brought like a strange bit of joy simply because we had just had a conversation about, remember the last time there was a really good 12 episode anime?
11 Eyes was what was like our typical go-to.
Yeah, and that really wasn't good.
Yeah, it's fair.
But like, yeah, it's the last time we could even think of a 12 episode anime. So I was gonna have a nice long conversation about that, and then realize that apparently a second season was announced, but it was announced back in 23.
Mmm.
The Sabakui Bisco itself ended 22, and we haven't seen hide nor hair of it in obviously the last 4 years. So I mean, you know, the Ballad of Tanya the Evil, I think is what it's called, just got its second season after I think 9 years. So it's not
Okay.
impossible that
That's
we
true.
could see a second season, but I will tell you that if you watch this show as though it is a 12 episode anime, it's a phenomenal 12 episode anime. In fact, off the top of my head, of 12 episode animes I can think of, it is now the best 12 episode anime I've ever seen because I can't even remember other ones, and I remember this one. Not that that says much because I'm getting old and my brain sucks, but here we are talking about Sabakui Bisco, Nabisco Biscoff. Um,
Tell
so,
me, okay, yeah, what's the premise? I'm locking in.
so we're in a futuristic Japanese city, following a character by the name of Milo, who has a really weird, like, birthmark thing around his eye that makes him kind of look like a panda. He also happens to be a doctor. They call him Dr. Panda. Makes sense to me.
Is that the pink haired dude? A redhead dude?
Nope. Black hair.
Oh, I
Black
have
hair, very generic.
the picture up.
Of a red
Okay.
haired guy. Hold that thought.
Okay.
So, Milo is a doctor,
Hmm.
and he runs a clinic where people come in, he gives them these injections, and you learn pretty quickly that there is this condition that he is treating that people are having to deal with that is fatal, called the rusting. And it physically is a manifestation of people's bodies slowly turning to rust depending on the point of their exposure. It is crippling, debilitating. No one survives once you have the diagnosis. It is what it is. And Milo is trying to figure out how to treat it because his sister, who is like the chief of police, older sister, big muscle mommy type character, she's phenomenal. Oh yeah, she's phenomenal. Um, is apparently suffering with it pretty considerably, and
Uh,
he's trying to keep her alive.
do
She's
you
the
know the
only family
origin
he has.
or anything
Huh?
like what? Do you know what's causing it, or is it?
Oh, I do.
What is the like? Because I know some shows like in that have a premise like this is like it started with whatever. Like, do you learn that, or is
So
that
it doesn't drop that on you right off rip. You kind of have to dig a little bit, get a little bit into it.
Yeah.
What it seems is there was this creation called Tetsujin, which I guess is just Iron Man,
Mm-hmm.
but is effectively like an Iron Giant mecha type situation that effectively detonated off like a nuke in a city. I believe it was called the Tokyo Crisis, if I'm remembering the premise correctly.
Okay.
Blew everyone off the face of the earth, and all of a sudden the ground started rusting, and everything around it started rusting. And so now people are living in these make in the cities that still exist with that are all walled off because the actual world around them in Japan is crazy harsh, crazy dangerous. Creatures have evolved. The rusting is everywhere. And so here comes Milo trying to figure out how to save the town around him when he gets dropped in on by this red haired gentleman uh, who, I mean, he wears a lot of names. They call him Akaboshi, which I think, can't remember what Boshi means. Boshi. It's hat. So I guess his last name literally means red hat. Um, yeah. So it might just mean red haired, even though that would be Akagami because that's Shanks. Anyway, um, he just drops in on him and is a very wanted fugitive because it is believed that he is something called a mushroom keeper, and they believe that the mushroom keepers at the time are what are spreading the rusting. And so as he infiltrates the city, he is being chased down by the police force. He gets hurt. Milo, being a good doctor, says, "Hey, I'm going to help you." So he does. Long story short, he ends up accompanying him on this journey to try to figure out exactly why things are happening the way they are without getting too much into it. And so what you end up having is a 12 episode like post-apocalyptic scenario where there's a mysterious illness that no one can figure out why it's happening the way that it is. It's an anime that fleshes itself out with a combination of corporate hierarchical greed, with post-apocalyptic, nuanced things. You find this civilization out in the middle of nowhere that is just children, and these children have been abandoned by their parents because they ran out of money. The parents had to go off to try to find a city to go work. So now these parents or these kids are basically trying to run a city by themselves with no supervision or
Lord of the
protection whatsoever.
Flies, baby.
Yes and no, less cannibalistic in a way. Um, but you're getting these creatures that are like massive and terrifying to consider, like schools of flying puffer fish that are, probably 30 feet in diameter that come and want to eat children because that's just what they do. They eat whatever they can find that is alive. So it's following the journey of these two while you navigate through a post-apocalyptic Japan trying to find a cure for an illness. The action itself is so unorthodox.
Elaborate.
I'm gonna. So Akaboshi, his name is Bisco. So Bisco is in fact a mushroom keeper.
Okay.
He fights with a bow.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he shoots a bow, gigantic mushrooms sprout. And so he's using this bow and arrow, which he fires off, of course, because it's an anime, with absolute superhuman strength
Sick.
that lodges itself into things, and these mushrooms start sprouting and either take down the thing that they're taking down, or he'll use it to summon it like a trampoline that he bounces on, or he'll grow like a giant king trumpet mushroom where it like launches them from the ground up into the sky to like jump over walls and stuff. Like unorthodox. It sounds like a main character of a video game that you would have never played.
But how does it look?
It looks fantastic for mushrooms growing. Now, there are some things that happen later that look even more fantastic,
Sweet.
but I will obviously not get into that.
Sure.
Um, but as it progresses, you're getting a growing bond between Bisco and Milo, and the trauma of everything that they're trying to endure and everything they're trying to accomplish. So you get a nice little brotherly moments while they effectively try to topple a corporation who is widely trying to manage the treatment of the rusting for their own financial gain. Of course, Tails' time. Um, and it's just kind of fun. And the best part of it, for being a 12 episode anime, again, I didn't know at the time that there was going to be a second season, but I can't remember the last time I watched something to the end that felt like a happy ending. And
you
so, like,
you mean with like loss along the way, like tons of
I didn't
loss?
say there was no loss, but you felt happy with the ending. Like, you are content
Oh,
with
I see.
exactly as it was.
I see.
Like, it didn't leave you wishing that something else had happened. It didn't leave you in any type of way. You were just legitimately happy. Everything wrapped up, perfect little bow, including rehashing a joke from episode 1.
Which is why you say that if there were to be no season 2, you'd be fine. It'd be fine.
Perfect. It how it ended, I don't know what else they could do.
Have
In
you
complete truth.
have you looked up like the manga? Is the manga still going, or
No, I believe the light novel ended.
what is it? I always
I
hear
don't know.
about light
I don't know.
novels and all, like what makes it light? What makes a light novel a light novel?
Manga are Japanese comic books sold primarily through visual panels, while light novels are Japanese pulp style novels containing mostly text.
So it's a chapter book.
Yep, text versus pictures.
Okay. So
Light
this
novels
wasn't
tend
a
to be
manga.
slower paced, more descriptive, and context dense.
So
Novel length chapters typically ranging from 50,000 to 80,000 words per volume.
so was this ever a manga? No, it was not.
Uh,
Oh yeah, it
it
is.
was not.
There is a
It
manga, but
wasn't.
it was originally a light novel. Is what I'm
Yes.
seeing.
Okay.
According to Wikipedia, it had 2 parts, and they are both over.
Yep.
So, okay,
Yep.
okay.
And again, I think it was handled phenomenally.
Any
There
slow
are
moments?
moments where it legitimately makes me laugh,
Uh huh.
and for an anime to make you laugh within a post-apocalyptic theme to it is kind of interesting at the way that they would interject humor, but the humor is predominantly interjected in the interaction, or injected rather, in the interactions between Milo and Bisco, or between Bisco and whatever else they're doing and whoever else they're talking to, because he's basically like your classic ruffian style character with not a lot of decorum or social skills whatsoever. Um, but then I don't know, there's subtle nuance and whatnot to it that it will make you laugh
Are
more
there
than
any
once.
slow moments?
Yes,
But like purposely slow, like
but
slow where it's like you
yes.
kind of check out a little bit, or like slow where it's like character building slow.
Character building slow, but also slow in the sense of like, hey, one of the characters got captured. They're in the course of being captured, they're learning more about why is there this town of children. So it's
So
slow
world
in the
building.
sense of giving additional context to the
Yeah.
world, as opposed to slow in the like filler sense.
Is there anything about the show that reminds you of another show? Like, can you compare this to anything, or does it stand alone?
Mm-mm. I mean, and I'm sure there's always things, tropes exist everywhere, but as a show, from what it is now, I don't watch a lot of post-apocalyptic anime,
Sure.
so it's possible that it's just one of many in that subgenre. However, based on just everything else that I know you have watched and that I have watched, not really.
Would Attack on Titan be considered post-apocalyptic?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
But
Let me
that is
think.
a
But oh, I
masterwork.
guess. But
So
would Gachiakuda could be considered post-apocalyptic? I guess.
it depends on what part of the world you're on.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think of
Because in
any
the
others.
Sphere, not so much.
I guess technically speaking, depending on how you look at it, Takt.Op could also be post-apocalyptic. Hmm. So, so in a good way, there's nothing that you personally can think of comparing the show to.
Not not really. The one thing I will say is that the pacing was immaculate. I mean, the first time I sat down and watched it, I watched 6 episodes and didn't even realize it.
How's voice acting?
That was fantastic.
Okay.
It's every character seems to fit exactly as it is. Nothing felt particularly campy. No one felt like they were reaching or exaggerating for it like early Black Clover Asta
Any
did.
standouts? Standout characters as far as voices go.
All of them.
Like if you could pick a character's voice where you're like, I want them to narrate my life, or I want to see them in everything. Like, is there a character that stands out for you?
I don't know if I'd want my life narrated in Japanese, just because
Why
I
not?
would be confused. I would be confused. Hold on. Give me a second because I actually think that his voice is relevant. Um, I know who this is. Uh, I apologize, everyone, for the silence that you're getting here while I read
So while you're
who else
reading,
this person has been.
is there is there fan service in any way?
Yeah, mostly in the
Over,
form of the sister.
like over the
Pretty much
top, or
exclusively
like
in the form of this. No, it's
like
just like,
regular?
well, there she is.
Okay.
She's well endowed, but also she kicks more ass than anybody else in the show. So, like, take for that what you will.
Okay, I think that's
Oh,
fair.
goodness. Eh, that means nothing to you, unfortunately.
What?
This particular character was also a voice actor of someone in Tsukimichi,
Mm,
which is
okay,
probably why I know.
I'll
I
get
don't
there.
remember who
I'll get
that
there.
is. Um, Man.
Nothing else.
And also Mushoku Tensei.
Well,
That
okay.
makes sense too. Okay, so apparently everything I'm watching right now just has this dude in it. Big fan of that.
Who is the doctor the main character, or is Bisco the main character?
Kind of both. I'll go ahead and say I think I don't know. It's a split protagonist, pretty acceptably.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
would say. My gosh, he's somebody very important in Fire Force.
Is there
Okay,
do you get a one character's perspective over the other, or is it still that like pretty
no,
split?
it's their story.
Sweet. Yeah. No,
I would
I'm.
say. Okay, so there's a character whose name is Kurokawa, who is voiced by Overhaul,
Who does a lot of things.
who does a lot of
He does a
things.
lot of things. Overhaul, dude.
Lot of things.
One of the best original themes of all time.
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, no, I'm interested. 12 episodes. That's a cakewalk. That's nothing. Um, I'll definitely check it
Mm-hmm.
out. I'm down for some good post-apocalyptic animation. Oh,
It's
freaking
so bizarre.
Trigun. That's post-apocalyptic. How did I forget about that?
What is?
Trigun.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, um,
Oh, so this guy is also the original Japanese voice actor of Seto Kaiba,
nice.
and
So
somebody
as
from Prince of Tennis, which is more important.
that is so important for you. But you didn't watch in Japanese because you watched on Toonami, right? Which would have been in English.
Nope. I only learned about it on Toonami and then watched the whole thing in Japanese.
I see. So
Wow.
as we get ready to wrap up, quick discussion. We talked about like the
Yeah.
season of anime and how good it is. Is there a show in
Hmm.
this season that you find yourself looking forward to more than any other?
Yep.
Because for me, I think I'd have to go. One Piece, I'm sure we'll get there. I have no context for what's happening. I don't know what's on the way. And because of that, because they're not quite there yet, I don't count that. I just have to operate with the knowledge I do have.
Mm-hmm.
Because based on everything you've said, it makes me very
Mm-hmm.
excited for One Piece, but we haven't quite reached that point yet. But the one that I am absolutely looking forward to is Wistoria, without a doubt.
100%.
Without
100%.
a doubt, dude.
100%.
I
Which is not
think
to say that I don't not look forward to Witch Hat, but it's so good. The story is
Wistoria
so good right now.
legitimately made me choke up with,
Yep. Twice.
honestly, two
Twice
episodes
now.
in a row, man.
Yep.
And it's because you just want to root for the main character so bad, and
Mm-hmm.
it's he's going on a journey. It's such a good show. It's such a
Yes, it
good
is.
show. Um, I don't think I'll have to see all these anime to fruition before I decide on like what I think will be my anime of the season. As of now,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be Wistoria, but anything could happen, man.
Which again is not to take anything away from Witch Hat, because you could honestly maybe even argue that Witch Hat's highs have been higher than Wistoria's highs, albeit not by much, but higher all the same, because there was a certain bit of animation involving a golden water dragon that is still to this day perhaps one of the greatest pieces in animation I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no, the mentor in Witch Hat, Keyfree, is he's so cool. He's so cool. He might be.
Is he the best mentor in anime?
I
Is he at least in the
not
conversation?
he
Are we
he.
are we putting him up there with the
Is this a hot
Roshi and the
take? Is
Gojo
Keyfree up there
and
with
the
Gojo and Kakashi? Is he up there, dude?
go figure he has white hair too, like it makes sense.
I don't think it's fair to put him up there only because of how few episodes, but boy is his
Nah,
trajectory
man.
going.
White
He
hair
is
sensei? White
his
hair sensei who
trajectory is
takes care of
moving.
4 little girls?
He's so cool. But there's a side to him where you're like, is he doing this for the right reason? He's so interesting. It's so cool. I love Witch Hat.
Mm-hmm.
But Wistoria is the one where I'm like,
I
I
appreciate
can't wait.
you know what I appreciate about Witch Hat though?
What?
It is the most tangibly plausible magic system that we've ever seen in an
It's
anime.
pretty straightforward. You're limited by your creativity. That's the only
Exclusively
limit you have.
creativity. Creativity is the superpower in that show.
Yeah.
And when's the last time you saw anything like that? Because it probably rhymes with never.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a
Like
really cool
that's
magic system. Really cool.
it is. It
And
is.
you gotta love a resourceful character because that's what the main character is, and you gotta root for an underdog. Um,
Yeah.
but with that said, we will wrap it up here. My anime for the next episode, I don't think you've seen this, Darren, is called Juni Taizen Zodiac War.
Here's hoping that it has a leg to stand on, considering Saint Seiya exists.
Who knows, man? Maybe that'll be what I compare it to.
That's a tough comparison.
Yeah.
I'm my next anime is gonna be potentially a bit of a challenge run.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think I told you that I was probably gonna do this, but I will be attempting to convince Ryan to watch The Eminence in Shadow. Not because I think the anime is going to be difficult to convince him to watch, because as all of us have seen at least one thing from the
Yeah.
anime that is one of the coolest things we've ever
Yeah.
seen. The problem is that this is an anime that I have only been able to find on High Dive. So in order for this to potentially be something that is watched, would involve another service entirely,
Mm-hmm.
unless it exists on one of those other sites that is currently systematically being shut down.
What are you talking about?
Which
What
is,
sites are those?
I
What are
don't
you talking
know.
about?
I don't know what
Crunchyroll's
you're
not being
talking
shut down.
about.
Any sites before. What are
I
you
don't
talking
know.
about?
Fever dream, I guess. But yes, I will be attempting to convince him to watch The Eminence in Shadow, because why not? Now that I've taken well a one episode break, it certainly wasn't 1 week. I've taken a one episode break. I might as well just go right back to an isekai.
You, is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, sure is.
Bro.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Well, all right. This will be an interesting one. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to check out the anime. Let us know what you thought. Thank you for hopping back in with us. If you're taking any time out of your day to listen to it, we love all of you. And subscribe, follow, leave comment, leave suggestions. If you have any anime that you really like that you think we should watch, uh, let us know. Our follows are at the bottom. That's not what they're called, but you know what I mean. And with that said,
Are you convinced yet?
hope so.